there's 5 of you guys, man, but 5 game balls here. It's for Jenna, Mara, all right, Jed, all right, Denise and not here, and Dr. York. But we love you guys and we appreciate you guys.
Guys, I got to say, obviously we know why we're getting these game balls. I wished I never had one. And we could not have done this without all of you. The coaches were terrific. Jimmy, this is the best game you've ever played. George, great at the end. Robbie, thank you. So congratulations. This is all of us. So thank you. And Kyle, John, everybody, thank you.
Guys, we talk about everywhere being family, and you say it in a lot of teams, man. But as we've known all year, it's different here. All right, and it starts with these guys. I mean, you guys know when we come in, whether we win or lose. I mean, they can't tell you how much they worry about you guys and support you guys. And appreciate you a ton, man. All right, be smart. We earned it, guys. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hey, boys! Come on, George! That was a fun one.
Hell yeah!
Woo! We get to go back home, Levi Stadium, keep playing some good football. Hey, it's all in our own hands, boys. Let's go. Now it's on 3, 1, 2, 3. Hey!
49ers coming off of that emotional win. You just saw the locker room right there. Kiana Martin joined by 49ers left tackle Joe Staley. Joe, I want to talk about what we just saw in the locker room. Obviously, this game meant a lot when you look at the seeding and the NFC and that whole playoff picture. But what did this win mean to this locker room and this organization, especially coming off the 1-year anniversary of Tony York?
Yeah, it was very emotional after the game, just because of what the York family have gone through that week and it being the anniversary of Tony's passing. And I know it's very special for them to have that big moment, the big win. You know, coming off the field, just seeing them, everybody, you know, super emotional and just hugging. And, you know, Kyle said it at the end of the speech that this is a family, and it really does feel like that. It's kind of cliche to throw that around in football, and I've been in the NFL for a while now, but this is a very close-knit locker room, close-knit family atmosphere that we have here, and guys really do pull for each other, and the ownership, we definitely feel that from them, and we wanted to come away with a victory not only for our own team and our goals, but also for the ownership.
I want to talk a little bit more about the closeness of this locker room in just a bit, but you guys got an opportunity to get a little closer. You guys are on the road for 9 days, been gone basically since Thanksgiving. Started off in Baltimore, you guys spent a week in Sarasota, then on to New Orleans, finally made it home. How does it feel to be back home in the Bay Area?
It feels good. You know, I have 2 young girls, and I miss them immensely, so it was great to be back home and see them, be around my family again. But it was great to get away. I always enjoy the time that, you know, this is the second time we've done this year. You know, the weather was great. I think it's great to get an opportunity to hang out with the teammates, the coaches, get that extra time to really have that, like, almost like a training camp feel for a week, and just, you know, refocus, get in the playbook even more, you know, as the season gets on. You get more time to get treatment, more guys really taking care of their bodies for that week that we were down there. So it was tremendous, and then, you know, we came out and we were ready to go, and it carried over for the game on Sunday.
That game on Sunday, I want to say, of the games that I've been to, I'd have to honestly say that was probably the loudest stadium and the loudest atmosphere that I've ever witnessed. Was it the same for you guys down in the huddle?
Yeah, it's definitely loud. You know, I kind of compare it to like the Seattle atmosphere. You know, Kansas City sometimes gets, you know, really rowdy like that. You know, New Orleans has always been a place that's really hard to play, and it was loud. But one thing that I was really impressed with, especially offensively, was, you know, how well Jimmy did in the huddle as managing everything, and the communication was unbelievable between him and the huddle, with our checks at the line of scrimmage. You know, the center, we had to go silent count the whole entire time. So people that don't know, that's, you know, the center kind of gives an indicator, and you go off of that. So a lot of times the tackles, and especially the tackles, but the guards as well, are looking at the ball and having to go off of movement and timing. And there's no cadence, and, you know, besides a couple plays, we didn't have too many issues there. So I thought we handled the noise really well and kind of, helped us out as we went.
It showed on Sunday as the 49ers got the win in the Big Easy. Let's jump right into those highlights from Sunday. Again, I said the loudest stadium I think I've ever been a part of. A lot of back and forth, but here we go. Saints first drive. Drew Brees connects with his tight end Jared Cook for 7. New Orleans strikes first. Well, the 49ers, they have an answer. Garoppolo rolls out of the pocket, finds Emmanuel Sanders, who you'll hear his name quite a bit in these highlights. Like here again, he jukes, he jives en route for a 31-yard pickup to move the 49ers downfield. Garoppolo caps off the drive with a 6-yard touchdown to Kendrick Bourne, and spoiler alert, there is more to come. Saints ball. Brees connects again with his tight end, this one for a 26-yard touchdown. Sean Payton decides to go for 2 after that play, and Fred Warner says, "Not today, Payton." Get it? Never mind. So 49ers failed to score on the following drive. New Orleans finds the end zone again for the 3rd straight drive, this one to tight end Josh Hill. First play of the 49ers' next drive. Who said Jimmy Garoppolo can't throw the deep ball? Well, he did. To Sanders, 75 yards, the longest throw for Jimmy, and ties for the longest touchdown reception for Sanders. 4 straight scores for the Saints here as they extend the lead to 13. 49ers next drive, Mostert all in on the action against the league's 3rd best rushing defense. Kyle Shanahan dug into his bag of trickeries all day long. Here's one to Emmanuel Sanders with his 2nd career touchdown pass. This one was a 22-yard tutty to Raheem Mostert. And here's the rookie, Nick Bosa, 3rd and 1, forcing the Saints' first punt of the game. Now, we can't let Mostert have all of the fun. Matt Breida on the carry. He picks up 28 here. Kyle Shanahan's trickery yet again. Use check to Mostert. They only needed 1, and, well, Mostert picked up 18. The next play, Mostert finds the pay dirt for a 10-yard touchdown, his 2nd of the game. Now, the Saints hadn't fumbled all season long. Well, that was until Sunday. DJ Jones knocks the ball out of Alvin Kamara's hands. DeForest Buckner right on time with the recovery. Garoppolo finds George Kittle for a 5-yard TD 2 plays later. Here goes that man again, Nick Bosa, forcing another Saints punt. 49ers up by 2. Garoppolo, he rolls out of the pocket and finds Bourne again in the end zone. 49ers extend their lead to 9. This is where things get a little crazy. Drew Brees doing Drew Brees things. Michael Thomas, 4-6 to cut the 49ers lead. Now the 49ers refuse to settle. George Kittle with an impressive block opens the lane for Deebo Samuel. He picks up 31. 49ers settle for a field goal here. All right, Saints go on to score, leave a minute on the clock for Garoppolo and co. 49ers only needed 2. George Kittle with the play of the season carries Saints defenders en route to a 31-yarder. Face mask penalty, tacks on another 15. Robbie Gould, he's good as gold. 49ers come back and steal the win in the Bayou. Faithful, they can finally exhale. What a game that was. Saints and 49ers combined for 94 points, the most ever between 2 10-plus win teams. Garoppolo 26 of 35 for 349 yards, 4 touchdowns. His 4 touchdown throws tied his career high, which he had earlier this season against the Cardinals both times. Week 14 also marked Garoppolo's 3rd 300-yard game this season and 5th of his career. He had a perfect passer rating of throws 10-plus yards downfield. He's known as a game manager. I use my air quotes for that, but he comes through when he's needed the most. What did you see out of your quarterback on Sunday?
What we've seen from him all season. Everybody wants to talk about how he's a game manager, like you said. The guy's been money all season, and I think he's playing some of the top quarterback play in the NFL. And we have all the confidence in the world, all the faith in him because of the preparation that he puts in during the week. The way he prepares, the way he leads every single day with his actions. And then you saw on Sunday, the guy's a gamer and the guy's a baller, and he's happy that he's our happy he's our quarterback.
Jimmy Garoppolo is also up for this week's FedEx Air Player of the Week. You can head to 49ers.com or NFL.com/FedEx to vote for him. So looking at this game going in, did you have any idea? We have 2 pretty stout defenses in this game, but did you have any idea this game would be a back and forth and would put up the amount of points that they did?
No, I don't think you ever go into the game. I mean, you kind of go in hoping that you're going to be able to put up, what we do, 48.
Yeah.
But you're just going in there trying to prepare to, do your job one play at a time, and just kind of the way the game kind of broke down. And after the game, we were kind of telling the defense was coming up to us and saying like, unbelievable job, great game, and it was offensively, we kind of felt like, you know, they kind of been having our backs the whole entire season, so it's kind of felt good to be able to pay it back for our, you know, pay it forward for our team.
I have to talk about Kyle Shanahan's play calling. He definitely dug into his bag of tricks on Sunday and kept New Orleans defense off balance, it looked like.
Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of trick plays that we were kind of designed up for the last couple weeks. You know, we've been practicing a lot of those plays for a while now, so it's just the right time, the right moment for him to bring it out, and I'm glad they worked.
Speaking of the trickery, I think it's a perfect time for us to jump into some of those plays with this week's Origin DNA of a play. Joe, you have the telestrator in front of you. We're going to jump into a couple of those plays, and I want to start off with Emmanuel Sanders' deep touchdown, the first play of the second drive.
What we're going to do here is we're going to fake a run here to George Kittle. The offensive line, everybody's going to pretend like we're running like an outside sweep out over here. Emmanuel Sanders right here. He's going to run the route, and watch what he does too. I believe it's this safety right here.
Got Joe Staley right there, by the way.
Yeah. So this guy falls down. Actually, a good job right here by this safety, picking up the slack of his buddy right here who completely got fooled out of his shoes. Jimmy throws a great ball. Emmanuel adjusts in the air, makes a great catch, realizes he didn't get touched, gets up, breaks a couple tackles, and touchdown.
When you see a play like this, I mean, you're all the way over here. This play is kind of taking place, what's going on, a little bit out of frame. But when you see a play like this and you know what's to come, are you kind of just standing back as you see Jimmy deliver that ball and you're ready to celebrate the touchdown?
Yeah, so these plays are like, you know, they're kind of the play actions off of our wide zone, what we're doing in the run game. And so mainly our job up front is to make it look and feel like run so that linebackers and safeties and everybody kind of bite down for a second. So we have an opportunity to take the ball deep if we want to, or if we, you know, throw it wherever we need to. But up front, it has to seem like a run. So you really just focus on coming off and get on your guy.
I want to talk about the next play that we have. Matt Breida, that 22-yard pickup. He finds a hole with a key block from none other than yourself. So let's jump into that.
Key blocks from everybody, man.
Give the whole team credit.
All right. So right here, we're out of this bunch formation that we were kind of in the whole entire game. We seemed like we were in this formation a lot right here. And so that's one of the things that makes Kyle's offense so awesome and unique, is that he'll give you a lot of the exact same looks and run a ton of different plays out of them. So defenses are always guessing what's coming. So what we're doing right here is the action is all going to the right side. And then what we want to do is, out of that bunch formation of those three guys that were right here, kind of come down and create lanes. And all three of these guys do a terrific job getting down. And then my job, as we'll see in the next clip, is to hold off that backside defensive end. The offensive line does a great job here, washing down, getting the defense thinking that the ball's going to go right. And then Matt does a great job pressing it, trusting it, and then finding that backside cut lane here. So I'm right here. My job is to block out on this defensive end and hold him right there in that gap. I can't allow him to you know, push me back. I have to keep that lane right here as wide as it is to start. Offensive line is all going this way to create the movement from these linebackers to think the ball's going here. This bunch formation is all going to get these DBs, and George is going to kind of find his way in here as well.
And you're honestly right. It's literally the entire team.
Yep.
You see Kendrick, you see Emmanuel, everybody.
Everybody, I mean, Kyle always stresses that it's 1/11 to run the ball. I mean, everybody has to do their job. It's not just the up guys up front. It's not just the fullback. It's, you know, the receivers, quarterback carrying out fakes. Every single person has a hand in being a successful run team. I think that's why it's so fun to play, is because of that accountability. Is not just, you know, receivers don't just get excited for the pass plays. They get excited for the run plays because they know in this offense, like, how well we run the ball dictates how well we throw the ball. And so they get excited for blocking just as much as they do to run those routes.
I've got one more play for you, and this is another one that was a full team effort, and this is Deebo Samuel's run. In the fourth quarter, you make a beautiful block, and for a split second.
I didn't.
Well, for a split
You're very
second,
kind.
But you look like you were his lead blocker. I'm being generous here. You look like you were his lead blocker for a split second, so let's jump into that play.
Yeah, so this was an interesting play. This was one of, a play that we kind of run off some of the different things that we do. It's kind of a little action here off, a reverse off of action that we do a lot. But you'll see, so we start over here. Debo's over here off the screen. He's going to come over here and run the reverse. And what my job here is just basically block down, and then I'm supposed to lead out the reverse. Supposed to look down the line of scrimmage first and then lead up to find anything that's coming back. So George got out before I did. I'm usually the one that's supposed to be out there. So George gets out there and does my job for me. He takes that guy, I see him cut, and then Ben got out in front of me on that one as well, and so I'm just the old guy trying to just get out of the way. Debo actually pushes me because I am...
Are you slowing down?
I am so in his way right here. He puts his hand, he's like, go. Puts his hand on my back to get out of the way. And I'm giving all I have here, my 35-year-old body, barely, and it's the fourth quarter, first game back in about 3 months, body's barely hanging on, giving all I got for the team, and I'm getting pushed out of the way by a 22-year-old stud receiver, and I was about cramping and super excited that we got that pickup and got back to the huddle and had a good laugh with everybody. But unbelievable play and great design.
We actually had your center, Weston Richburg, on the show a couple of weeks ago, and we asked him who does he think is the fastest O lineman of the group, and he told me we had to humble you, but it is you. Do you agree? I mean, I'm kind of. We can't base it off of this play that we just saw right here, but
Yeah, when I'm fresh, 100%.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's second closest?
I don't know. It's such a gap.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Staley, your 49ers fastest O lineman. I need to know, who do I need to speak to? Probably I know the answer, Kyle Shanahan, but how do we get Joe Staley in on one of these trickeration plays?
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah?
I mean, he's kind of designing them up for everybody right now, so I'd love to get on the action. So maybe you never know. We'll find out. I've done it before.
That's right.
With a lot of success, so people forget. Playmaker.
Playmaker right here, Joe Staley. That was your origin DNA of a play. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I might have to put you on my fantasy team. A Joe Staley touchdown. I'm all for it. But I do want to talk about that final drive of that game. You guys have been here before. It's 4th and 2. You just need 2 yards, down by a single point. Run me through the emotions of that final drive.
I think besides just the final drive, the thing that was really cool about, as far as offensively is that we were in a stressful situation on the road against a really good football team, and we never felt that pressure or, that stress of, hey, we have to score. This is a really big drive right here. And it was kind of similar then, 53 seconds left, I believe, when we got the ball in the fourth quarter, and we just kind of went out there with the same mentality to do our job, and we just took it one play at a time as we had the whole entire time. And even that fourth, we had the 4th down right there. It wasn't like anybody was panicking, like, someone make a play, please save us. It was just do what we can do. And also, thank God we have George Kittle. He's really good.
Thank God for George Kittle.
Yeah.
Joe, as the longest tenured vet on the team, I remember you saying maybe a couple of years back that this team, it's special. And this was when Kyle and John first got here. And of course, the seasons didn't go the way you guys anticipated, but there's been slight changes over the years. But what is it about this locker room that has that it factor?
Well, I think I said that initially with Kyle's first season and with John here was because I could just see what their vision was for this franchise and what they wanted to accomplish and the people that they wanted to bring in here. And, the way we finished that first year, obviously we didn't start the way we wanted, but the way we finished it, you kind of got the sense of, what it could be when we got all the pieces here that they wanted to have. And, as the years went and now we're in year 3, they've gotten a lot of the guys that they really wanted to have here. And we're seeing what their vision was for this football team and the way that they kind of construct it and the way they approach every single day and they keep players accountable and their coaches accountable. And it's just a from top to bottom, it's just a really fun organization to play for right now, and you know, it's really excited to be a part of it. And yeah, I think it's just that vision was really unique because I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of different coaching staffs, you know, front office, you know, players, you know, come and go through the doors here, and what their vision is something that I agreed with wholeheartedly, and just really excited to see everything they told me in year one, and even before we started that first season, really come true.
You talk about the team got to bring in the guys that they wanted here, and one of those guys is Emmanuel Sanders, who is coming off of a big game, and he is our Yahoo Fantasy Performer of the game. Sanders caught 7 receptions for 159 yards and a touchdown. His 75-yard touchdown pass from Garoppolo tied the longest touchdown reception of his career. Sanders now has 21 games with 100-plus receiving yards, including 3 this season, 2 of those with the 49ers. You've got to mention his touchdown pass to Raheem Mostert. It marked the 2nd passing touchdown of his career, where he became the first 49ers receiver to throw a touchdown pass since Jerry Rice threw a 41-yarder against the Falcons in 1995. What's been your impressions of Sanders, and what spark has he brought to this team since he's joined back in October?
He's unbelievable. The guy's mentality, I think, is first and foremost what sets him apart. The guy just loves football, loves competing. You know, he's a smaller guy, but you wouldn't know it by the way that he plays the game. You know, he plays really physical. He's fearless over the middle. Comes down with the ball all the time in traffic. He's been a huge spark for that wide receiver room, and I think guys, you know, raise their level of play, and you see, you know, guys, you know, wanting to emulate the way he practices, the way he performs, and it's been fun to see. It's been a great addition to the team.
Being the longest tenured veteran on this team, you are one of the few guys who has seen the postseason, and Emmanuel Sanders is another guy on offense that some of these young guys can look to. How important is it to have a guy like yourself, Emmanuel Sherman, when you guys are down this stretch of these games that this team needs to win?
Yeah, I think the thing that's important for us to stress to the young guys is to not change. You know, what we've done all season is the exact right formula that's going to carry us through the playoffs. We have a lot of business to still focus on for the regular season. We're excited where we're standing right now, and close out the season strong. And then, you know, once we get to the playoffs, is doing the exact same thing that we've been doing all season.
Emmanuel Sanders, your Yahoo Fantasy Performer of the game. So how much would you say that this game, and this might be a stretch, but is it pretty reminiscent of that game against the Saints in 2012, where it was another back and forth battle? Is there a tie to that game? Did you kind of see that game going in the same way?
Yeah, it was pretty similar, but just by the back and forth nature of the game, especially at the end there, and having to come up with a big drive to you know, get a victory. The stakes were a little bit higher, the one we had in Candlestick, and
oh yes.
But also I think the nature was a little bit more stressful for us on the road, because it was such a big game, regular season, and it was on the road in such a hostile environment. Really just impressed with the whole entire team, the way they came out, and you know, we had so many opportunities to say, you know, mentally you can say, oh man, this is hard, and this is not going the way we kind of envisioned, and you know, guys never once flinched, and you know, Kyle also said in the beginning, the speech that he had is like, we've won so many different ways, and the mental toughness and capacity of this football team is really special.
People question this team heading into that gauntlet of matchups, starting off with Green Bay, demolished them at home. Then you've got the Ravens, where 49ers fell by just a field goal. Then you have New Orleans, who everyone else was saying, you know, was going to be a tough game for the 49ers, got the win in the Superdome. What does it say about this team? Because it always brings me back to, everyone's like, the 49ers need to prepare for X team. But now that narrative is changing as teams need to start preparing for this 49ers team.
Yeah, I think the main thing is that we're battle tested. You know, we've gone on the road and played 2 really tough teams, played 2 really tough games, and you know, obviously we'd have loved to come out of the stretch 3-0, but you know, we performed really well. We didn't flinch. We were mentally strong, physically strong, and came out well. So you know, I think it's all positive going down the stretch and into the playoffs. And I heard a quote before we started the thing. I forget from what player said it, but it was talking about, you know, us playing those 3 teams, and his response was, you know, they have to play us as well. So I think that mentality has served us well, and excited to finish up the season here and get going.
49ers have an opportunity to clinch a playoff spot for the first time since 2013 this weekend against the Falcons. 49ers heavy favorites, but how are you guys kind of keeping out the outside noise and focusing on this task at hand, which is the Falcons?
Yeah, I think that hasn't been very hard for this team to keep out outside noise. We don't have too many, you know, I don't think we have any players actually that, you know, are paying attention to what everybody's saying outside. We're just focused every single day on getting on the practice field, getting better, doing what we can control in that day, and moving forward. So, you know, this is a big game coming up. We're coming back home after being, you know, away for the last 2 weeks, and excited to get back on the football field and compete against a team that's playing really good football right now in the Atlanta Falcons.
Interesting fact, the last time the 49ers clinched a playoff berth was in 2013 at Candlestick versus, do you know what team?
Atlanta Falcons.
The Atlanta Falcons. If San Francisco wins this Sunday, they can clinch. What do you remember about that game?
Navarro Bowman had the interception that took it to the house. I do remember that. That was a very exciting play. Very exciting game. And we expect another exciting game, and
looking forward to it. Before we close out the show, I gotta give you an opportunity to show some of your teammates some love. So Pro Bowl voting ends tomorrow on Thursday, and 49ers fans gotta get their votes in. So I'm gonna let you campaign for one teammate who is deserving of that vote into the Pro Bowl.
one teammate. Okay, if I'm going to single out one teammate, the guys that don't get noticed ever is Laken Tomlinson, the left guard for our football team. He's a guy that no one blows up, no one shows love to the offensive linemen, but Laken is playing terrific football this season. He's coming off, and he's setting the tone in the run game. He's been super consistent. He's putting in a ton of hard work this year. He's one of the main reasons why offensively we're putting up the numbers we are, is because of his consistent performance. So go out and vote Laken Tomlinson to his first Pro Bowl, because he is deserving it, and he is an unbelievable human being, and he's an unbelievable player. Please, please, please go vote for him.
That was like a PSA. You were looking right into the camera,
Yeah, it was.
pleading your case. It was almost like a commercial. Well done. Get our guy, Laken Tomlinson, into the Pro Bowl. 49ers are hosting the Atlanta Falcons. Kickoff is at 1:25 on Sunday. The first 30,000 fans. Come on, Joe. We got some giveaways here. Well, if you missed that, fans in attendance will receive a 49ers Faithful Then, Faithful Now scarf. So make sure you guys get there early, get loud, because the Faithful have been traveling very well, and they've been just as loud at home at Levi's Stadium. That's what we want to see, right? Want to see it just like that at home this Sunday. But before we go, I got to leave you guys with something. We were just talking about that game in 2013. The pick at the stick. So I think it only makes sense that we finish this off getting a good glimpse of that. Navarro Bowman, who, I don't know if you know, will be in attendance at Levi Stadium on Sunday for that game, your guy. So enjoy this of Navarro Bowman back in 2013 at Candlestick Park. Joe Staley and I will see you guys on Sunday.
Pressure coming, Ryan gets rid of it for Douglas. It's fought for, and it's in the hands of Bowman, who's got all green grass. Navarro Bowman gonna take the Niners to the playoffs. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, boy. Way to make a play. That's how you become legendary.